Hey guys, it's Matt here from DCLblogger.com. In this video, I'm going to be going through a very interesting, mind-blown area in the NFT industry. And to be honest, I'm being mind-blown literally every night. At 2 to 3 a.m. I wake up and I'm like, whoa, this can be done with NFTs, or like something comes through my mind and I realize something that's possible within the NFT industry. But async art has become, I know this event kind of happened a couple of weeks ago, but I'm really just kind of looking through it today because I wanted to really understand the art market a little bit more. We held a meetup in Decentraland, and people went through my gallery, and it kind of was pretty cool. And I wanted to explore the art scene more because I am interested to see, what this may mean for kind of virtual worlds like Decentraland or Crypto Voxels, where you can kind of host people's art, and they can get tipped, or you can purchase the art directly from the virtual meetups and things like that. So this came to my attention, and like I said, I kind of did understand the concept, kind of not, but looking into it a bit deeper, it made me, I'm kind of matching it to what can be done in the future. So basically, async art, I think that's how you say it, async, I'm going to just say async art. Basically, you can own different layers to an art piece, which are basically different images that can be changed based on whether you own it or not. So different artists contribute to a final art piece, which in this case is the first piece I think that was sold was First Supper. And different images can be updated by the owner of that token. So each I believe they're called layers, and each layer is kind of owned by a certain person, and you can kind of have a look here what it looks like, right? So you can control, the frame, certain different pieces, and the final owner of the complete art piece, I think whoever has the master key can display it, and based on whoever owns the different pieces, they can change the quality on the art piece to influence the final piece. So to have a look at it a little bit deeper, you can kind of, let's go through this article here by, if I can find it, which one is it? Blockonomy. Basically goes through exactly how it works. Actually, let's just go through the async kind of how it works guide. Allows you to purchase both masters and layers. Think of a master as a one-to-one piece of art you'd find on a traditional platform. So the master is basically just the final piece of what it looks like. Layers are individual parts that make up the master image. Both masters and layers are tokenized on the Ethereum blockchain. Once live, the master token continually checks its layer tokens and updates its look based on the layer owner's input. When you buy a layer, you have the opportunity to influence your favorite artist's work. Layers are endowed with special abilities decided by the artist. When you change something on a layer, the master image will reflect this regardless of who owns it. For artists, you decide the parameters of your art. It can change as little or as much as you want. Your art could change based on the contents of an owner's wallet, or maybe reference live weather data. Art has become programmable, and it's limited only by your imagination. So different parameters, different things or benefits based on who or what you want to be within this ecosystem. And so Metacoven owns the final piece, and I think he also owns some of the layers as well. So you can see here exactly how you can influence or change the characteristics of that layer. You can change this exact kind of layer to any of these different pieces, and that's going to influence the final piece. And why this is interesting to me is because if you look at the way it was sold, this is an article by Netarob from Netherlands, I think, because it's a .nl website. This collaborative piece of art is called First Supper, in reference to artists involved being amongst the first of a new generation of internet painters. First Supper consists of 22 different layers, ranging from backgrounds to characters and decorations. One person owns the entire artwork, while potentially 22 different people own the separate layers. And the interesting thing is the company behind this project calls all this reprogrammable art. The complete creation sold for 85,000 USD. I believe that is including all the layers and the final piece. And you can see here Async art, when it was kind of going through its auction phase, it was just kind of updating us in real time. If I can kind of find. So current high bid of 50 Ethereum on decentralized. So these are all the different layers. So next two layers of first upper auction closing at 12:30 p.m. Current bids 4 and 6 Ethereum. So you can see the different layers that were being sold. This piece right here, or this item, you can see sits in the middle right there. So the person that owns that can change it to any of these three pieces. And why I think that's really interesting is because the important thing right now is, especially in the metaverse community, so there's different projects like CryptoVoxels or Decentraland, where you can kind of enter or own your land and update your land with different kinds of builds. So you can see here, this is one of my lands that Pete updated or deployed his art gallery on, which I'm quite grateful for. And his art gallery, if I were to walk in it right now, we held a meetup over here, and there was about 20 to 30 people that joined. You can see here there's different artists that have or agreed to add their art to the art gallery, and in the future it'll be great if we can just literally click the person's art and tip them or purchase the art directly. So the capabilities of what these type of metaverse worlds mean in the blockchain space is still to be unlocked. People are working on some really cool things. But imagine this, right? Imagine if I have an art gallery like this, and say it comes to something like International Women's Day, or it's like any other Independence Day or any other big days, Independence Day in India, or there's different events in Australia or all around the world. Every day there's something going on, right? And if this is populated by art pieces that can be changed every day, literally, to represent. So basically, you have an art gallery that's dynamic, that changes every day when you enter it. So on Women's Day, we can hold an event and we can enter this space and look at all the different art pieces that is, people have changed, the owners of the Async art have changed their art pieces to reflect International Women's Day or represent something to commemorate that day. So it's going to be an interesting concept as to how that works, and that's why that came to my mind, because I was like, holy crap, wait a second. What's missing right now in these metaverses is a dynamic, everyday, something that hooks you in every day. So you want to check out the world every day because it's changing, right? So right now, Decentraland is such a huge project. There's so much empty land that it's going to take some time for all of this to populate. So for there to be something to do every day, we're still probably about 3 to 6 months away from any sizable content to visit every day. But imagine 1 or 2 years down the track when there's art galleries and games and all these kinds of things to do in the art scene specifically, being able to enter this gallery and seeing different things kind of change on a daily basis basically is a lot more interesting than going here and checking out and being like, oh well, I kind of saw what I wanted to see. I'm out, until this guy changes what's in this art gallery for the next time. So very interesting concept for me personally. What the potential for NFT worlds collaborating right now. The art space is pretty much dominating the art scene, the metaverse scene at the moment. There's so much art coming to these metaverses. CryptoVoxels, as you know, is being there's so much art going around that area, and Decentraland is trying to get quite populated with art as well. So going through what this is possible to do is a pretty cool concept once it comes together. And I think these industries are starting to show promise in different directions. The art scene, metaverses, games, card games, and all these things are kind of going out in their different directions. But if there's a way to collaborate and really work the interoperability of things into things, then I think that's what will become quite interesting. So I'm very interested to see how this project continues. Congrats to them for making a very interesting, very dynamic, and it has value. Like they sold almost 400 Ethereum worth of art just for that piece between the layers and the masterpiece. So that's a big achievement for a project like this. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you guys found value in it, and I'll see you guys in another